Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the second week of the Pop Esports Masters 6th Season League of Legends part. Tonight, once again, the two of us, Frashtana and I, shall be your hosts. Welcome, Frashtana.
Yeah, thank you, Medes. It's nice to be here. It's nice to be back on screen, and of course, nice to be back for the Pop Esports Masters, which is always a cool opportunity to see great teams matching each other and fighting for a big spot to play the offline event.
Absolutely, and always a pleasure to have you here with me to cast those wonderful games. We've had some incredible games last week, with quite a few upsets as well in the leaderboards. Maybe we can take a look, because I think it's important to set the tone here so that people know what's going on, what I'm talking about here, because one of the big upsets happened. So we had one that was to you, big upset. Snooze taking the win against Infernal Wolves Fenrir already, who come in as a favorite. But most importantly, and I'll give you the honors for that one.
Yeah, we had a matchup Royal Family against Relion, and actually Relion did it. They did probably impossible, beating Royal Family Esports and win a really quite successful game versus them. And in the end, I wouldn't have expected it, but they did it. And then we had the first victory of Red Out. So they came in after the first week with just 2 losers, and now they won the first one. So it's cool to have them back.
Absolutely, and closing off the dance is Hitmonli going 0-2 currently, with a tough opponent if they'd like to break the current losing streak, because they will be going up against Royal Family Esports. But we've seen that the Goliath is not impermeable. They've taken a loss already. Who knows? Maybe they could take a second one. We'll see how that goes. But overall, after this first week, already a bit of a sketch that is starting to be drawn here on the leaderboards. With Snooze Esports going 3-0, a really strong performance. And I feel like the first week we've had mid laners shining especially bright, in my opinion, with some really strong performances. And we've had a few nominated to be MVP of the week. Namely, we've had nominated Scopes, we've had Wild Wolf, who did really well in an underdog position, but nominated in the end as MVP was none other than Frankie from Snooze Esports, who had a really important role for his team over the course of this first week, where they came out 3-0. So definitely got the results to back that up. Of course, at the end of the season, the MVP of the season will be selected. They will win an extra prize, of course, as it has been customary here at the Pop Esports Masters. Now, before we get to game 1 of tonight, I would like to remind people that Pop Esports Masters is not only League of Legends. Even if you're here probably for League of Legends right now, we have other competitions coming up as well. So if you or some friends might be interested in participating in any of the next competitions, those being Valorant and Rocket League, the registrations are still open, and it is the last few days to register for Valorant. So do that real quick if you want to participate.
Yeah, really cool to have 2 other games also up on our schedule, and of course on they will be played like in the weeks after League of Legends. So there will be basically always content here. Maybe not with me, but with you guys, of course. So it's just nice to cover some more esports titles, just because esports in a general is just a really cool hobby. So every single game should be supported, and it's cool that we have 3 games here.
Absolutely. Now, next game up is, of course, Hitmonli versus Royal Family Esports. We should be getting the champ selector any time soon. 5 minutes, I'm being told by the regie. It's going to be, I think, an interesting match, because Hitmonli, to me, is, I don't know. I really have some expectations for them to surpass themselves. They are the underdog, I would say, of the split, without a shadow of a doubt. But I think that's a position that gives you a certain power, you know? I don't know if I'm the only one thinking this, but you can do a lot as an underdog, and you can surprise people, and it's always a banger to see a wonderful underdog story.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it already with QG's Rely On team, right? So
Hmm.
there's always room to shine. There's always room to beat like the best teams in the league, and especially like this matchup, probably still maybe the strongest team in the league against maybe the weakest team in the league. So if not today, then just in a rematch probably. But just try to beat them, and we saw pretty impressive stuff actually by them, just getting those lane swaps in, especially like day one. They kind
Hmm.
of surprised everybody with the first match and already the lane swap from the underdog and stuff. So I think there's always room, and like Red Lion did it. They beat Rolfham, so maybe the second underdog can do the same. And I mean they have pretty incredible players like 5 and stuff. So why not? I mean, just take a shot. You cannot lose basically, except like you're losing the match, but you will always lose.
Yeah.
You will always gain some experience and stuff. And for this Luxembourgish really young squad, I think all they can do is surprise us, and
Yeah.
just in a good way. So there shouldn't be any fear to try to beat them. Just play with fun, and I think that's what we saw in the interview also, that
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
just want to have fun as a team, and then they are pretty strong and can beat everybody.
Yeah, and you know the power of friendship in the end is always going to win. Even if you lose the game, you know the treasure was the friends we made along the way, yada yada, and so on. No, really a team for which I'm really hopeful. And I really like to see. Unfortunately, Blythe Malgi not there this week again. It was Unreal who took his spot last week already, and this week apparently as well. So that's quite unfortunate, of course, for them because, like, as you mentioned, he's a really good player. So this gives them this sort of weak side in a sense, not a side because the mid lane is in the middle, but it's not their core roster playing together, which is always a bit of a hindrance for a team. We'll see how
Mm.
they match up against Royal Family, of course. Really strong roster, so all across the board. Whenever I look at their roster, I'm like, yeah, man, just goddamn.
Yeah, I mean they are pretty strong and experienced players, which is nice to have, of course. Like last splits, they also had like probably the strongest roster of people like Axon, Dan. Now you have just
Mm-hmm.
like the next wave of great Belgium talent. So it's just great to have like this huge like player base with like other regions, and just to have those incredible players in our league, because it makes the level of play really high, and it's just nice to see them, of course, as a viewer, as a caster,
Mm-hmm.
and for people like from the little bit weaker teams, it's cool to play against such players, right, in a competitive league, just because there wouldn't be probably much room to play them in solo queue or even like in flex queue. But here you will have at least 2 matches against them, which is cool just for the experience, right?
Yeah, there is a lot to learn from such a team because I mean, you play the game, and maybe during the game you're like, you might get frustrated, probably because it's League of Legends. Let's be honest, right? But you always have to replays. You always have the VODs, which, by the way, week one VODs are on YouTube if you'd like to check those out if you had missed the streams last week. But you can always review those VODs and those games, and that's where that's where the gold is at, where you can learn so much. You can see, okay, how did this enemy who's on paper better than me exploit my errors, and how can I make sure those don't happen again? It's an uphill battle for sure, but there's so much to learn, as you've mentioned, especially this team. I mean, it's a lot of player with quite a bit of competitive experience, and that often makes a big difference, and that's where you can learn a lot, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And you can also learn a lot is in draft, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where we are here now in the draft against with Hitmonli and Royal Family on the red side, and of course target bans on blue side coming out with Darius Bart, and on the other side, especially again like this color star just gets a lot of A lot of respect from all the teams from Soldier Boy, which is really cool to see. In general, the bot lane kind of performed on a decent level. And Mel getting banned on blue side. And now Skarner still would be open. Skarner my pick, of course. But maybe he gets banned now.
On Sunday, I was asked to join Nocturnal Esports to cast Division 2. And we had a few technical issues with the spectator because, you know, that's how it goes with League of Legends. So unfortunately, it was only one game. It was really interesting because Skarner was banned, and then I was like, oh yeah, Frostana mentioned Skarner is open, gets first picked as well. Frostana is like always on the Skarner, and it never got banned or barely picked in Div 1. And Chrissy told me, yeah, in Div 2, it's actually perma banned or perma picked.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like it should. And there's Skarner first pick. So now the teams are definitely into the meta. And Volibear, a strong flex pick actually, top lane jungle. So a lot of potential. Really annoying to play with because of the shields, because of the W heal, then that full tank build where you just heal all the time and get the shields from Frostborn and stuff. So it's really annoying to play against. And with Caitlyn, you always have bot lane prior, so there could be some invades or even some tower dives with Volibear, really cool level 6, which just dives, the tower cannot shoot, right? So I really like the direction we go with Royal Family at the moment with Volibear Caitlyn.
Yeah, to answer that, the Varus, so we're gonna have two pretty long-range annoying champions, in my opinion, on the bot lane. We've seen a lot of Caitlyn last week as well. She's pretty solid currently. Varus, I think we saw Varus once, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, here and there.
But I think it's a good answer against the Volibear, for example, because you see Volibear coming usually, and Varus can react really well to that sort of engage.
Yeah, he's pretty good if he can just ult the target, which is trying to close the gap, right? And if there's no jump or something, then I mean Volibear can only like run at you, so pretty easy to trying to disengage him, especially with Leona and Skarner already. So I quite like the composition right now from Hitmonli. Just decent frontline, decent backline already. And there's Morgana, and that could be Morgana support against Leona. That could be Morgana jungle. In general, Caitlyn Morgana. I mean, really this strong. W, this Q stun is just for a long time, up to 3 seconds. And then Caitlyn just has the freest trap of all time. So it's really, if just one Q hits you, you are stun CC'd for ages. So really hard to play against. And at the moment, like the whole engage, especially like Varus ult or even Leona ult, everything gets just black shielded. So that's actually a way for Volibear to get into the backline, just black shield him, right? And it's still flexible. You still have Morgana support, Morgana jungle, Volibear top lane, Volibear jungle. Some would even say Morgana mid lane, but she isn't like that great anymore. But anyway, we get our second ban phase with Kled and Vladimir, 2 target bans for Yorick Owen, I assume, on the top lane, and then Victor gets banned from water.
Yeah, and Victor we've seen last week as well. Very strong, and would also like complement really well with the Morgana and the Caitlyn as well. That's like definitely perma CC. If you also have a Victor on top of that, you get caught, you're definitely done for.
Yeah, and another ban against Valyrian with this Ivan. I mean, a jungle ban with 2 potential junglers already being locked. They just don't want to play against Ivan. Ivan Skarner is kind of a good matchup for Ivan, so they just don't want to let that be happen. And with the Syndra lock-in, you still have like the swapperoo with Volibear, so still top lane, still jungle, so everything is possible. And with that, they still hold this flex pick till the end, which is a good option for our family. And with Syndra, you just have a decent blind pick mid laner who can beat most other mages. So there shouldn't be like the biggest problems for water.
Yeah, and since we're already pretty AD heavy on sides of Hitmonli, they're probably gonna go for some AP mage either way.
Yeah, and
Last pick.
and Seraph is a good one. Just outranging the Syndra. Because on like this, it's like mid range. She can always stun you. She can always poke you with Q and stuff. So, but if you just outrange her, just being out of range for it, then it can actually work. Now with Ornn, Skarner, Leona, like pretty beefy frontline. The only problem I see is Varus probably needs to go for on hit now, just because you don't have any DPS, you don't have any damage, you have triple frontline. So if you don't really get ahead, or if the carries, if one of those carries dies, for example, then you are basically, especially with Varus dies, you are basically full AP. So just someone who can maybe build like some MR items, especially Olaf, rocks against those melee champions, rocks with like Morgana ultimate. Like this Olaf can be really annoying. He can build smaller for Mortius. He can build a spirit with it. Like he can just itemize against this team, just run Varus down, and after he is dead, there's a full AP team against Olaf who will never ever die. So
Yeah.
I really like this last pick, and there could be a huge problem for Hitmonli to win teamfights later on if one of the carries dies in a 2-carry composition. And of course, if Varus dies, then there's no AD damage. And even Varus deals a lot of AP. So just a few MR items probably kill the whole team comp of Hitmonli, actually.
Yeah, and it fits perfectly in the rest of the combo for our family esports as well, because now there is no doubt if you just want to do a full frontal engage, so you have Bolbe and Olaf, and both can just run straight ahead into the enemy team without a worry of all of the CC, because like Hitmonli in terms of CC, they're stacked. They're really stacked. But you don't care because you have an Olaf and you have a Volibear with the Black Shield that can just run it down, and they're just not going to get CC. They're just going to get to the Varus and do whatever they want with him. That's really definitely frightening.
Yeah, and I mean, Olaf has his own Black Shield with the ultimate, so if he is on the flank and Volibear just engages with Black Shield, then there's not really a stopping from those two. And Caitlyn, Morgana, Syndra can just try to follow up. Caitlyn ultimate kind of long range and stuff. So it shouldn't be like the biggest problem, especially later. The whole engage from Hitmonli can be cancelled by one Black Shield if they just full dive on Caitlyn or full dive on Syndra, for example. So just Black Shielding it can definitely help. The only thing which shouldn't happen is Caitlyn and Syndra like being on the same spot, and just one of them can be Black Shielded. But besides that, I think Hitmonli gets in trouble if they fall behind. But if they even get a small lead or even like a decent lead, then with this full engage comp, they can just always like long range engage with Ornn, with Seraph, with Varus ult. So you always have follow up. You always have like single target burst and stuff. So I think if the game is close and if Hitmonli like gets the way to pull the trigger, then Wolfheim maybe is in trouble. But if it's just even, or if Royal Family just gets an early lead, especially this Olaf, then the game could be over pretty fast, actually.
Yeah, and as unfortunate as an underdog, you'd prefer the situation to be the other way around, right? So that you can have the, I'll say, the simpler game plan to not need to get a lead early on. So that's a tough spot. But you know, there's always salvageable things. Leona Varus, I mean, you are threatening still as well as a bot lane, and Morgana can only use one Black Shield, as you mentioned earlier. So if they do it properly, it's either Morgana or Caitlyn who might die.
Yeah.
On bot lane. You know, you can't save both from the CC chain, but
Yeah,
they'll need to play it smart.
Yeah, and one important thing is we already saw that Hitmonli goes for lane swaps, right? So if Royal Fam is not prepared, then this Olaf kind of is cracked. Like he doesn't like lane swaps. He doesn't like being staffed. So Royal Family definitely needs to find the angle to stop the lane swap, to just reverse swap and stuff, to get Olaf out of the situation, because that's a classic draft where you just try to lane swap. Skarner is pretty good in diving. Leona is pretty good in diving. Like you have the tools to just hard dive the enemy top laner. while your on is, I mean, he has something to go for him, and even if we don't get any CS, for example, he's still an on with the ultimate and stuff.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty annoying to play. While Olaf, if he hasn't like a lead, he just pops and dies. While on can always like engage from long range. If he's level 1 or I mean level 6 with no items, his ultimate will still knock up 5 people if he hits it correctly, right? So while Olaf cannot do that. So I think we will see a lane swap, and I think that Royal Family will try to match it because they know it could happen. I mean, tank against a not good matchup is always we want to lane swap basically. And especially against Caitlyn, you maybe don't even want to play the 2v2 either, so you don't want to play both of those lanes. And so you kind of dodge like a really aggressive bot lane duo, even though Leona Varus can be played aggressive as well. But you probably haven't like the skill to match it 2v2. So just swap it out and you are good to go.
Yeah. And they've shown that they can do this at lane swaps. I mean, they've done it last week as well. So yeah, probably what they'll go for. Question is, what would you usually do in that scenario? Do you hopefully predict it correctly? Take a risk, and if you're right, you can have a better start, or do you expect them to not do it and then adapt? What's the usual way to go here?
No, it depends on level 1. So which team will set up wards, which team will maybe invade to set up deep wards. Do you just make a 5-point cover? I mean, you can already preemptively just lane swap as Royal Family, because if the enemy do so, then you are good to go. And you can try to predict it, but I would go for some setup wards. I would just try to spot it out. And yeah, and we see that both teams basically invade a different side, so probably nothing will happen. But both teams will get some time to deep ward and then to set up whatever they want to do on level 1.
I'd love to see that. Full 5 stack going into nothing. The tension's super high. For them, probably.
It is. Oh, okay. Botlane stays botlane. I would expect that botlane will move top lane now. They don't know if the enemies warded some brushes, so Hitmonli does not go for lane swap right now. Ida says they are expecting the enemy to go for it, so they hope to predict it, but the prediction is false. And that could be actually pretty dangerous, because Olaf on level 1 can actually run down Ornn quite easily if he would face check it. But that could be dangerous. But it's just normal lanes. So either Hitmonli predicted that enemy team goes for lane swap and just swap to but this like 2v2 now is definitely weaker for Hitmonli.
Yeah, lots of mind games, and also I really like the wards that were placed on top side by Razorback. Making sure who's gonna be top. You can already see that he's got the upper hand in that 1v1 on top lane.
Yeah, Olaf is really annoying to play against, especially as low as he drops, he gets more attack speed, so he will just out damage you, just out stat check you, basically. And there's not too much room to play, especially as a tank against it. And then like he even has more and more lifesteal, so even if he trades down a lot of health, he can rack up himself while Ornn can't. So every like middle trade or even a bad trade for Olaf in the end is a good trade, because he will heal himself simply with the passive, but also with like the Doran's Blade, for example. So every auto attack kills him a little bit, so better for him. And now he just rushes the wave. Probably not the cleanest farm of just 10, but that's good enough. And yeah, he just got the prio and is out of here because Ghana was top lane. And now they just run to the base and basically got what we call a cheater recall.
Yeah. In the meantime, Leorio staying, of course. Is going to be Half-Life. Pretty low on mana as well.
Yeah.
He's going to have an even rougher time now because now he's actually in a... Like, there's kill potential for Razorback now.
Yeah. And that's the cheat thing in the cheater recall, because you have the time to recall while your opponent hasn't. You get to a good lane state while the other can't. And you don't lose basically anything. And even though you don't have teleport, you are here in time, so and you have item lead, health lead, mana lead, so pretty annoying. And well played by Razorback.
Here we have the gang on the middle lane. The stun is landed, and look at that. Armor really is forced to flash away, but dies either way. First blood goes to Royal Family.
Yeah, well played. Good gank. Was Water just found the stun into the chain CC, so was easy to execute. But just because Water found winning stun there, and there could be action.
Yeah, with Valerian coming right around the corner. Leorio is out of mana. Zedokl really low. Razorback really low as well. However, is gonna give up his life here, but maybe Valerian can get some return kills. Zedokl forces him to the wall, but dies after the flash. Auto attack from Valerian. 1-1 exchange here. But the Volibear player now standing at 2-0, starting to gather some traction here.
Yes, good early game from Valerian. A little bit overeager by Razorback. That he dies there was unnecessary, basically. In bot lane, we could saw the power of like one Morgana Q into traps, into double headshot, basically. And like it's Caitlyn without a single item, so it did not make too much damage, especially like traps are still level 1 and stuff. But later on, if one Q hits and she gets a double headshot, then you're basically dead. So a lot of damage and already quite dangerous to play against. There could have been even like a way to go cleanse for Soldier Boy, in my opinion, but he didn't. And now there's a gank.
Yeah, Sido coming around the corner, but here comes... Yeah, that's just a Black Shield strength here. Completely denied. He still got a lot of damage out on the Caitlyn.
Yep, but just a little bit damage, and sooner or later she will go base anyway, so not too losing for her. And
we had a perfect example of no
just
losing trade top, and mid lane is Olobolo, top lane as well now. Razorback got the kill in the end. We have Valerian around the corner, the cage is sitting, and look at the damage that Mirror got in a matter of seconds here.
Yeah, and I mean, he could have even waited with like his own Q just to CC for a little bit longer. But Volibear, of course, wants to get the damage from the Q in, so in the end, Leona didn't die because of Aftershock and stuff. But yeah, 2 solo bolos now in a row. And it's just a snowball, you would assume, from Royal Family, right? So there is not too much room to do something if the players are just, quote unquote, a little bit stronger in just raw skill. And we saw one problem of this full dive engage comp, that one Black Shield just counters all. And basically after Morgana uses the Black Shield, you need to swap the target, which is kinda not possible for Skarner there, but maybe possible for for Leona. Whatever. Now we see just a trade of Void Crops against Drake. So at least Hitmonli gets something back, but Volibear is already there and Water also is coming. So maybe just, okay, two Void Crops, but...
And Solobon on the top lane maybe. Once again, Ragnarok already out. Here comes the Call of the Forge called Zedokl right around the corner. And very nice, puts Razorback back under the turret, but he's careful to not do any damage. We have the Xerath ulti coming in, and that should be a kill for Hitmonli, although it gets close for Leorio here.
Well played by Unreal. With this 3-man, you can definitely kill it.
Oh, but here comes Valerian, and the chain CC is just unavoidable here, and he's gonna die at the hands of Valerian. I think they wanted to leave the kill for Water, though.
Yeah, but they couldn't. And now this Volibear is even level 6.
Yeah, it takes the last grub here. And is just gonna run down Sadoko, flashes over the wall, uses the ulti to get right behind him, is of course already level 6, unlike his counterpart, and that's a kill. 4th kill for Valerian.
This Volibear will run over the game, especially with Morgana Black Shield later on. There's no stopping here, so will be quite a tough game for Hitmonli. And at least bot lane is kinda working in their favor. But if they can actually stop the bear later on, I don't think so. And now even Valerian gets some camps there. So more and more they are being dropped by Sadoko.
Yeah, and it's not only in terms of kills that he's got a huge lead, but he's got a 20 CS lead over his enemy counterpart. Which is already quite a lot, especially if you consider that all his cams are respawning faster as well. Probably because he's faster. Soldier Boy, you see the combo here, taking lots of damage. Is going to bury the ace in the hole. Mero coming in, but that's just a small consolement.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like the cleanest Caitlyn combo. Like usually you can just do like a little animation canceling with Q and E. So while she's jumping out with the caliber net, she can use the Q in mid-flight, so you can basically use both abilities at once and stuff to maximize damage. While we saw that her caliber net just hit one of the minions because she did it last, so probably there could have been even a solo bolo. But,
still the engage coming in from Mera because Sidoko is just around the corner, but Valerian is as well and is gonna grab their own jungler. Rooted, he dies. Soldier Boy out of commission, but Valerian now on the threat because Armin Rui comes in for the mid lane, picks up the shutdown as well. Is gonna get stunned, however, by water. Here comes Unleash Power, and he's now the one to fall. It's 3v2 on the bot lane for Royal Family as they pick up another 3rd kill here. Now Mera under the turret is under threat as well, and they clear it up easily. Could it be an ace coming in for World Family? No, Soldier Boy is already back, and top lane it's Leorio who wins the 1v1.
Yeah, well played by the Ornn. Just Ornn winning against Olaf, but in the meantime your whole team dives. So just team diff. What can you do as a tank player? Exactly what I witnessed in every single solo queue game from my own. There's nothing you can do if your team is losing, right? Even though you are a tank in the end, you cannot carry that life. But actually, well played, the dive by Royal Family. Yeah, Dime now with 3 kills, so bot lane is hard winning now. And with Rome by Water collecting like a 2nd kill. So Royal Family just winning basically everywhere and probably will just convert it into a clean victory in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. 4k gold lead almost for Royal Family. We didn't mention it, but they got the feat of strength for the 3 first kills as well.
Yeah.
It's all still standing. Many objectives, I mean both objectives having been done, but actually we're still pretty early in the game. So, and I have the feeling we're further in the game because of all of the action that is already going on here. Razorek once again on the threat here on the top lane. Might have grown a bit overconfident. Rude is going to land on the bot lane. I mean, it's Leona. They go for the counter engage. Now the chain is out. They're going to get stunned under the turret. Has to be careful. And the Root, here comes the ace in the hole. Valerian just around the corner to make sure they're not able to get away here. Even if they try to. Is going to grab Mera. Is going to use the ulti in order to shut down the turret. And that's another double kill. Going to the bear, but he gets shut down by a last turret shot. Stay too long, maybe. With the arcane rights. No. Drolex. Fleet of Foot is going to be able to dodge all of them.
Yeah, Trolex had now confidence in his abilities, needing to heal in the end, just because he thought maybe I get hit, but he sidestepped it cleanly, everything. So just trust yourself, man, trust yourself. But in the end, the tower dive, of course, got 1 kill back to...
Whoa. Unreal just getting shut down here. But Zedek's gonna pick up the return kill, and by now Hitmonli has still picked up quite a few shutdowns here and there.
Yeah, especially the shutdown on the Volibear was important. But probably it's still not enough. I mean, it's 5k already after 13 minutes, which is basically a lot. And then you always have the problem that Caitlyn now comes online. So she was only on bot lane, but Caitlyn is really strong in just sieging turrets, just auto-attacking turrets over and over again because of the long range she has. So now the rotations can actually start. Now she can actually try to snowball the game after she got unlocked with those 2 bot lane ganks. So it could be a huge problem for Hitmonli.
Absolutely. But you gotta give it to them. They got the 5 grubs. There's always a little bit of respite still. Second trade goes to Royal Family Esports. With that, they need one more neutral objective to get... Oh, they got the bot lane turret. Never mind. I missed that.
Yeah. Needs of strength.
And yeah, lands a root, and look at Soldier Boy. He's just cooked in a matter of seconds with the counter engage. Is not too bad. They get the kill on Drawlegs. Here come the Arcane Rides. A second kill goes to Hitmonli as they now gang up on Valyrian. Lots of damage coming in, followed up by Leoria's ultimate, but he goes towards the turret with his own ultimate. Back now coming in. Water on the Syndra is able to change the tides there together with Razorback. Lots of damage falling on the Hitmonli roster, and they've cleared out the situation here.
Yeah, was kind of an even trade in kills, but in the end it's another turret going for Royal Family. And really amazing that Valyrian in the end even survived the whole fight. But yeah, Razorback now being online, and really important for him to get 2 more kills to even out the gold with the Ornn. I think Ornn even had a shutdown actually, even though it was just a small one. So this Olaf is back in the game. We can see it on the items. Both has basically won. Olaf should have a lot of gold in the Tash. So it shouldn't be like the biggest problem for him after the next reset. Probably building a Black Cleaver maybe, but maybe also like the Maul, who could be really, really strong, just for more magic resistance in my opinion. And yeah, red buff and wait now from Royal Family.
Yeah, Royal Family now shifting gears, starting to speed it up more and more. 1v1 of the top lane in. The Tade's change as Sedokur comes in on the Scar. Lots of damage falling on Razorback, who is forced to flash away and goes away here. It's really low, but comes out alive, which is important. Herald is there.
YOLO had ultimate up now, but yeah, the lifesteal is just too much.
That's disgusting. Here comes to Black Cage. He's in the hole as well, just to get the assist. But Razorback picks up the kill. Zedekal now in a 1v2 situation. Kind of forced to fall back. Gets rooted one more time. Grabs him under the turret. Is able to pull him back. Arcane Rights coming in. Lots of damage falling in favor of Hitmonli as now Mero comes out with the CC. But now the Caitlyn has come into range. Soldier Boy joins in as well on the fun. But it's a slaughter from Royal Family as now Valyrian comes from behind. And they're just gonna snack onto Soldier Boy under the turret. Not even needs to use the ultimate, and that's an ace!
Well played by Royal Family. Just getting a clean ace there without losing anyone. Like, lots of healing coming down from Drawlegs actually with the redemption was really important. And then, like, this Soldier Boy Varus just does basically no damage at this point. He tried his best, but he couldn't secure any kill there on the top lane. And it was there was a close kill with like Skarner ultimate into the arcane ritual, but just not enough to kill him because of the healing from Drawlegs. So now it gets really, really bad, and yeah, you have 2 items on almost everybody, so even the item advantage just start to kick in.
Yeah, and right now Hitmonli are in a tight spot. They're unable to do quite a lot. Razorback just runs them down 1v3 and has the time for his team to join him up. TP coming in from Water, even in a really like risky position actually, but it doesn't matter. Lurio picks up the kill together with Unreal on Razorak, and not without a Cosmero. Falls here. Remembers the Royal family now down. Valerian in the meantime just on top side, you know, doing his stuff.
Oh, Zidokul is looking.
Looking for the engage. Grabs the Caitlyn, but he's just gonna die in a matter of seconds without the damage being there quick enough to take down the enemy AD carry. We flash away from the Chains of Corruption. Arcane Rights coming out, not hitting. Royal family too sure on their feet, able to dodge it all.
Yeah, it's not an aimbot. That's all I can say with those shots. Missing some, hitting some. It's really, really hard to hit those like dancing queens there on the side of Royal Family. I mean queens, you already see it. It's a Royal Family, so of course they have dancing queens, right? And
True.
you cannot hit them. It's just really, really hard for I'm Unreal. And he plays a good game right now, but not enough damage to just one-shot super shooter with his own ultimate. So teammate just surviving those shots. And yeah, the game does not get easier. Now 10k after almost 20 minutes. So 10k is a big number, you can say. And I don't see any comeback chances, sadly, for Hitmonli.
Yeah, no, the Royal Family keeps a really tight grip on their lead here. 10k gold by now. They're gonna grab the soul point, and they, you know, they play it really aggressively, but they never overextend it or anything because they know that Hitmonli still can pick them off, right? If they do a misstep or something, like the damage on one person if they're in the wrong spot at the wrong time still is huge. They've had a few shutdowns here and there. The Royal Family now just doesn't give them the chance to even get a lot of these.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the front line is kind of tanky. Skarner and Ornn, they have some items, they can definitely tank, but the backline is just too weak right now to actually deal front to back damage.
So a bit far away. You can see that he still survives really long, but no, he's not gonna survive the unleashed power. Now that's the cue for Valerian to go in on to Mero. Oh no, he finds Soldier Boy actually even. Doesn't quite get him, but they just keep the chase and they can just run it down. Here we have to corrupt the chain. Another member of Hitmonli going down, flashes over the wall to grab the enemy AD carry, and with that, Hitmonli, 2 men standing. Unreal on the Xerath, Leorio on the Ornn is forced to fall back as the damage is just too huge. And here's the problem, because Royal Family is so ahead across the board, especially with Valerian being a threat to everyone. Like, they've mostly built armor on the side of Hitmonli, and now it's Water who just shreds them in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, with the final ball of the ultimate, even killing Zidokul here, who might be maybe the tankiest member, just because of the hard steel. And it's just not enough right now for Hitmonli. They maybe try to contest this Atakan, but I don't see a world where they can actually steal it. I mean, Zidokul could run over the wall, but he doesn't know how much health there is, and now we even get stopped on the Dark Binding.
He's just cocked against the wall, not able to go through, and now they have finished the objective. Can just jump him, take him down. Valerian finds even purchase on Mero, is trying to get away. I mean, it is Leona, so he's a bit resilient at least. Now Soldier Boy around the corner has to be careful though to not get hit by any CC, else he's done for. The damage onto Valerian now starting to stack up. He's forced to flash away, but look at Water coming from the side and finding the connection to the enemy AD carry. Leorin are forced to fall back towards, and Nexus is gonna die by the ace and a hold, and that's another ace for Royal Family, and that should be game as well.
What a clean performance, 15k gold lead, and now they will just finish this game against Hitmonli, who kinda did not have a single chance to really get into this game. But yeah, it is what it is. Now some people start dropping, but there's still the Atakan false life. So it will be the finish push by Dime and by Valerian. And with that, they win this game against Hitmonli.
Yeah, Royal Family not phased by their defeat against Reliant from last week. Came back, I would say, even stronger, even more dominant because, man, that was kind of a slaughter. Complete control over the game. I would almost say almost flawless execution here. I mean, Hitmonli just got a few kills here and there, and then at some point it was still over. Even with this shutdown, they were not given the room to come back here.
Yeah, and even though you had winning top lane, it's just Ornn against Olaf. Even with a solo bolo, if the whole map is burning, not even like the god of smithing can do his job, then it's too hot, man. It's too hot. If everything burns, then it's just too hot for him.
Too hot to the touch. Either way, that was the first game of tonight. Royal Family to win against Hitmonli. Next up is Infernal Wolves Fenrir going up against Reliant Esports, two of the newcomers for the first division. In a sense, although Reliant has been known in the Pub Esports Masters also for the last season in Division 2. We'll see that match very soon as we head towards a short break. We'll see you for that soon.